I'm not in this to do anything other than change the way we're governed. You know, I give my parliamentary salary to charity. I'm not in it for the money. I don't need the money. I actually, it's cost me money, because we can talk about reform and the legal fees, and we're not finished with those yet. So I think Parliament's been undermined by, and really the parliamentary process is a joke now. It's actually the civil service and the permanent secretaries who run Britain, and they're not elected. And a lot of them are extremely woke. They are questionable people in terms of both their morals, in terms of their outlook, and certainly now in terms of the fetters on them, which are supposed to be put in place by the front bench. And our front bench now has virtually nobody who has any experience of running anything. So, as you know, if people aren't held to account, then ultimately they're not elected. They outlive most parliaments, and effectively, therefore, it's them that's governing the country, and it's them that's letting the British people down. Parliament's just a charade. I mean, Parliament is it's a show for the people. It shouldn't be. And really what has to happen now is the MPs have to stand up for themselves and start to actually take back the power that the Constitution is supposed to vest in Parliament. I mean, again, just to give you an example, if Parliament passes a law, but that law is trumped by a global law, like in the case of the ECHR, then our laws aren't any more effective. So therefore, law we pass in Parliament isn't always going to be effective in this country. So we've been undermined by, I think, the people now who, if you like, the administrative structure around the MPs has taken over. That wasn't helped by the expenses scandal, which again, we won't go into that, but I think there were understandable reasons as to why MPs thought it was okay. But in the end, it worked against them and it neutered Parliament. So I think, again, the British people who vote need to open their eyes to the fact that Parliament is just a sort of media plaything to entertain them. You know, the real power, as I always say, watch what the hands are doing. Watch what the hands of the permanent secretaries are doing. Watch what's happening in the Home Office, the Foreign Office, all the key offices of government administration.
That's who really runs the country.
And then see how well that front bench, which, as I say, none of whom have had any proper business experience, watch how well they're holding to account, because I can tell you they don't. And when I ask these parliamentary questions, I think I've asked more parliamentary questions than any other MP. Sometimes I get an answer, and when I ask the front bench, you can see they're visibly shocked. The civil service has got the answers to all these questions. The front bench hasn't got a clue. So they're more interested in tittle-tattling about what's happened in Westminster yesterday, which is irrelevant.
So that's who really runs the country.
The 23, 24, 25, 26 permanent secretaries. I mean, I can name some. You probably can't name any of them. They're the people who run Britain.
Right. This is like what Liz Truss said this as well. She couldn't even do anything when she was Prime Minister.
She knows. She knows. I mean, I've spoken to Liz. I think, look, Liz and Kwasi didn't play their hand particularly well, and they probably needed to bring more people with them, and they gave toads like Andrew Bailey the opportunity of undermining their effectively that they were elected to govern the country, and these sort of bureaucrats all conspire to undermine her.
You know what?
But she went at it a bit like, and I've told her this, a bit like a bull in a china shop. But I think what she was trying to do was essentially right.
It reminds me a little bit in my own job here of when I talk with celebrities you want to get on the podcast, and it's their PR teams. And the PR teams, if they don't make you take questions out and then edit things and stop you saying anything of any interest, they're not doing anything. So they sort of have to. And I think you get this kind of red tape person, all kinds of businesses, all kinds of industries. They're the ones who, I mean, it can get quite serious, I think, in an authoritarian dictatorship or something. Those are the guys who rise right to the top, aren't they?
Well, I think, again, people underestimate the power of, well, first of all, let me say, I haven't edited it at all. I told you could ask me whatever you wanted.
You have not, no. That wasn't me having a slight dig.
But I mean, no, look at the rise of PR, look at the rise of spin, look at the rise of, you know, the sort of the vested interests in the media. It's all one big game now. I think the judiciary is in it. It's all one big game, and actually the real voices are often drowned out by this, what I call malign framework within which Britain's being undermined. So no, I look, I mean, it's an eye-opener for me. I've spent my life trying to make my own way. I'm self-made, trying to provide for my 4 children, trying to indulge my passion, which is farming. And I'm fortunate now I've managed to acquire a farm, and I love it. It's the real world. It keeps you humble. But I look at what's happening in Parliament, and with the experience I've got in multiple industries, multiple businesses, 20 years in the city, I can seldom get a question in. I'm an independent MP. And even though I've got expertise in football, even talking on the football governance bill was very difficult for me because I have very little standing. And Parliament's not interested in actually going to people who've got knowledge. It's interested in running using raw power. And the power of the elected government, Andrew, it's incredible. They can sideline people. They can ignore debate. They can filibuster. They can so with the rape gang inquiry, I've got my own privately crowdfunded rape gang inquiry. The government's promised us a statutory inquiry, but several times there was Esther McVeigh and I were going to have a debate on it in Parliament, and it was literally they keep pushing it back. They can use the agenda. They can slip in an urgent question or a ministerial statement. And suddenly, you've run out of parliamentary time. It gets pushed on.
Can I ask you a favor? Please subscribe. 90% of you are not subscribed. So if you sub, it will help the channel and I'll keep making these clips.